Dwayne Lessner from the technical marketing team, and today I want to discuss a new feature, the support for the Azure Load Balancer to route traffic to our Flow Gateway virtual machines. The Flow Gateway virtual machines are used to provide north and southbound connectivity to workloads running on NC2 on Azure. Previously, you would have had to deploy an Azure route server. The Azure route server is great with all of the dynamic routing that it provides, but it does come at an additional cost, and some customers may be up against the BGP stream limit. So, the Azure Load Balancer, easy to deploy, and we're going to showcase that off and also show one of the downfalls is that now you will have to add in your static routes to all of your Azure route tables. Let's dive in.
First, let's create our new Azure cluster with our load balancing option. So we'll deploy into West 2. We'll use the latest AOS software available on the portal and then create using our existing resources. So our delegated services to bare metal are already on our bare metal and management VNet for Prism Central. And we have our Prism Central, which we need to deploy, picking our management subnet. And now here is where we deploy. We want to deploy the flow gateways in the cluster first, and then we can use the IPs for configuring the load balancer. So now we're picking the flow gateway VNet. So the flow gateways have an external and internal NICs. So we'll assign those. And then here we see the Azure route server information, but since we're deploying the internal load balancer, we can just hit next and we'll kick off deploying the cluster, which can take around 2.5 hours from a full deployment with bare metal and Prism Central and all of your networking. So I'll hit create. While that is getting kicked off, we can start to deploy our load balancer. Now on the Azure Portal, we'll deploy our load balancer. We're going to deploy a standard internal load balancer. We'll deploy this into the same resource group as our cluster. We'll just give it a name, and we will keep the rest of the settings. So we have our name. Now we'll deploy the front-end IP configuration, which will just be dynamic in nature as far as what IP it's going to grab, but we can grab that afterwards. Here in the NC2 console, we're just going to grab the IPs needed for the backend, so where the load balancer is going to point to. So we can see we have our 2 flow gateways that we deployed earlier, which now means the cluster has been fully deployed. So give the front-end IP a name, and then we'll pick the network within our deployment. So our management VNet, and then picking from the external gateway. So now for the backend pool, we want to give it a name as well, and then we'll add in our 2 IPs. It's pretty simple. The Azure, once we start typing in the IP, it'll be able to find the actual resource. So we'll give this a bit more of a descriptive name. And here you can see that those IPs are actually showing up from our Azure environment, but always good to check the NC2 portal to verify you're grabbing the right resource. So just double check. So 53, and we'll just give that a descriptive name as well. So here on the inbound rules, we just want to have a health probe, just ensuring that it's not going to send traffic to a flow gateway that is potentially down. We'll use port 22, and we'll leave it at the 5-second interval. The session persistence doesn't matter how traffic is distributed and coming back to the load balancer. And the outbound from the flow gateways is distributed with ECMP. So now we're in a good spot. We can create our load balancer. So the deployment has been kicked off. And now we can go and show the configuration from within Prism Central. Inside of the deployed Prism Central, we have our transit-vpc and the Nutanix CVMs, where we have NoNat configured. We have a ERP external routable prefix configured, so this 10.50 is our subnet where we're going to have a Linux machine running, so we can show that the traffic going inbound is correctly working. Within that user VPC, we have a subnet called servers that's hosting it. So here we can see the network configuration. That ERP is going to allow us to advertise that CIDR range, so the flow gateway knows how to take that traffic in. So now that we have that configured, we also have this Linux VM called Talk to Me, and we see it has an address of 10.50.0.126. So back on our Azure environment, we need to add our custom route table. So we already have the route table created, as it's not that interesting to show, but here we have the route configured. So our CIDR range that we use for the ERP is pointing back to our front end IP of our load balancer, which you could just get from the load balancer screen. And so once we go into our NC2 management, we have to, anywhere that static route needs to, any workloads going back to our UVMs on our NC2 cluster, we need to configure. So here, this subnet, this VM1 is where we're going to have a jump host within our Azure environment. So a native Azure resource. And we're just, double checking that we have our custom route table assigned to those VNets. So here we have this TME jump where we're going to get logged into. And then from there, we'll be able to hit that Talk to Me Linux server with just using PuTTY in our case. So now we'll SSH in 126, and boom, we are in. So everything is set up, and we didn't have to install Azure Route Server to get it fully routed within our environment.
It's that simple to set up an Azure Load Balancer for your NC2 on Azure environment. Just remember to set those static routes. We'll see you in the next video.